You're in Braves country. You're in Braves country.
Good afternoon, Braves country. Hope y'all are having a great day as we are getting set for pitch-by-pitch, play-by-play of your Atlanta Braves. And as you can see right there on the screen, it is Chris Sale Day. So we do have an answer. Chris Sale has shown up because I was starting to get worried. Now, sometimes they do work on the backfields, so I wasn't that overly concerned, but considering the fact it has been a little over a week since he's pitched, you do wonder, but it looks like everything's good. And from my understanding, he got a little bit of work in on the side during some off days. So they're basically just trying to slowly ramp him up. That's fine. I'm fine with that. I was just starting to get concerned when you'd seen the Braves play. See, he started on Saturday, the first day of spring training, which was it the 22nd or 23rd of February? And here we are, March 4th, now back at it. So we hope to see. I would think that they're trying to bring him to 30, 40 pitches, unless he did enough work, but I don't think there was enough timeline for him to do more. So probably what they did is have him do a couple of stretch days and kind of long toss days. And considering where we're at in the spring, still 3 weeks away, if you get 30, 40, maybe even 50 pitches out of Chris Sale, then they would probably shut him down and then go get him probably late this week, probably closer to early next week, because I believe they're going to wait 6-7 days till his next start. And basically that would give him the ability to do 2 ramp ups before opening day. All right, we got a little bit to get into before first pitch. We'll get into everything else as the game goes along, but I do want to hit this up now. Come regular season, people have been asking about this. Regular season, Braves Country today is going to come on a little earlier than just before first pitch, and we're going to do about 10 to 15 minutes. There's normally not enough time to go over everything during the game, so we want to give it an honest show on the Braves Country today, the early shows. Now, when we start a series, that's going to come on at noon, and if you miss it, don't worry about it. We'll replay the audio before first pitch of that day. But that'll be what Braves Country today will be doing when the season starts. This is just to get you an idea of what's going on in spring training ball. Jose Quintana signs a 1-year deal, $4.25 with Milwaukee. I know a lot of Braves fans were a little perturbed because basically they're saying, dude, if you could have got him for $4.25, why the hell didn't you sign him? And I get that argument. What I'm going to tell you is the pushback, because it's a very analytical driven front office, is that he does not have a lot of swing and miss. And that's what the Braves look for if they're going to pay north of, 3-4 times the minimum salary for a veteran. I guess it's right around 4. That's what the Braves are at, because they're trying to stay under the salary tax this year so they can reset it for next year. They're willing to go over, but they don't want to start playing around with guys like Quintana, who, look, I get it, he's an innings eater. I would have loved to have had him, but that's just telling you that is what their front office, what the Braves front office is telling folks. That's where it's at. Other than that, real quick, I just want to hit this up. The couple of moves that have been made over the last several days we haven't got a chance to get into because of the Sean Murphy news yesterday. Eddie Alvarez, Chad Kuhl, Zambrowski, which was basically the 4th, 5th string catcher, Chasen Reeve, reliever, Jordan Weems, all of them have been sent to the minor leagues over the last several days. And we do want to give a shout out, because I feel like I'll forget during the game. Mike Moustakas 1 day contract with the Kansas City Royals to retire. He was a part of the 2015 championship team and always a really good player. He's been out of the game for a little bit, but he officially retired with a 1 day contract. Is very normal in baseball world for guys to do that. So there you have that. Moustakas and the Royals, he will retire as a Royal. He's not any kind of threat to go to the Hall of Fame, so had nothing to do with that. All right. Let's get it. Pitch by pitch, play by play. We got the lineups next. We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country.
On a beer? 7 o'clock in the morning. Scotch?
Hey, howdy, hi, and how the hell are you? Pull up an armchair, girls and boys, and join us for Braves Country Baseball. You're listening live, and the scene is the Grapefruit League down in Florida. We're set to bring you pitch by pitch, play by play of your Atlanta Braves. Hi, I'm Mac Magee. Here's your starting lineups for today's action. Leading off for the Minnesota Twins, playing right field, Wallner, batting .077 on the spring. Harrison Bader's in center and batting second. Castro is at third and batting third. Larnach is in left field, batting cleanup for the Twins. Ty France, the designated hitter, batting fifth. Vasquez is behind home plate. Miranda batting sixth and playing first. Lee is the shortstop today. Gasper, second baseman, and batting ninth. On the mound for the Minnesota Twins today, to start off, it's going to be Rob Dobnik. He has been in and out of the starting rotation for the last several years with the Twins and a few other stops. Randy Dobnik has also been a long reliever, so we'll see how long he's got today. Leading off for your Atlanta Braves and playing left field, it's Jurickson Profar, batting .286 on the season, on the spring training season. Batting second, playing second, Ozzie Albies, batting .125 this spring, a .347 OPS. Austin Riley, batting third, playing third, .714 OPS. Matt Olson batting cleanup and playing first, a .231 average and a .978 OPS. Brian De La Cruz, the designated hitter, batting fifth, .417 on the season and a 1,000 OPS. Michael Harris II, batting sixth and patrolling center field for your Atlanta Braves, a 167 average and a 398 OPS. Drake Baldwin, who should be the odds-on favorite to be the starter come opening day with the injury to Sean Murphy, is behind home plate, batting .333 and an 884 OPS. Orlando Arcia still does not have a hit on the spring training season and a 200 OPS. And Jared Kelenic is batting ninth and in right field. He's got a .273 average and 1151 OPS. We're just about set for pitch-by-pitch, play-by-play of your Atlanta Braves. Our pick to click today We're going to go ahead and go with, let's get someone off the schneid. I think it's low-hanging fruit to grab a couple of the guys who have already gone deep. So let's get someone off the schneid today, and let's get Ozzie Albies going. Raise that 125 average and 347 OPS. We'll take the Wizard of Oz, or the Wiz, to click today, and we'll be back in a flash here on Pitch by Pitch, play-by-play of your Atlanta Braves. Braves, Twins, spring training action in the almighty Grapefruit League. We'll be back in a flash. Lock it in here on Braves Country.
Folks, join us now for another Braves ball game. Yes, sir. While we're sending play-by-play. And your seat right bang behind home plate. So, let's see what's going on in the dock. This is the one we've been waiting for. This is it. This makes it feel like it's spring and baseball. No more measles. Free tickets to the circuit.
You're in Braves Country.
This is a reminder, disorderly conduct will not be tolerated. Please respect your fellow fans and refrain from any unruly behavior. Failure to comply with these guidelines will result in ejection. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We direct your attention now to home plate.
Please remain standing. We call your attention to our bands here today. They will be jointly directed. And now, another fixture, our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose what stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Play ball! Well, it's about that time. Grab you a cold one. Find you an armchair. Atlanta Braves baseball right here on Braves Country Radio. Your modern-day superstation is in its 5th season of bringing you pitch-by-pitch, play-by-play of your Atlanta Braves and our one-of-a-kind production. Take us anywhere you go for over 170 Atlanta Braves ball games. Please like and subscribe today. Join the Country Club. Thank you to all the Country Club members. You help support Braves Country Radio.
Get this bus moving. Stop. Come back.
Too late.
Roll call! Yeah, roll call!
You're in Braves Country.
Welcome in, Braves Country. If you're tuned in and hanging out, do us a favor and say hi in the chat, because we're just about to start roll call. Everybody that's in roll call will go ahead and holler out at you. Good afternoon, Braves Country. Who do we have in here? I saw Hellion in there earlier. Good afternoon, Robert, Joyce, Kenneth, John, Charles, Tate, good to see you. Wait a few more minutes, see if anyone else is going to jump into the chat. Just about set for pitch-by-pitch, play-by-play. The Braves are going to be wearing their classic home spring training uniforms this year. If you saw the pregame show, you saw the red hat that they're wearing. I've got it on today. Red ball cap, blue bill, blue A on the front, blue top. The Braves across the chest, outlined in white. Tomahawk underneath, and the white pants as we are at home here in Cool Today Park. Should be a good day. They're saying it's 17 miles an hour blowing from right to left. So keep an eye on that. The right-handers might have an advantage today. We are just about set as they are doing the finale. Everyone's jumping out there onto the field, maybe a couple of warm-up tosses, but they should be just about ready as they do this a little different. If you haven't caught the spring training balls, there's not as much of a warm-up, and they usually start right at, even sometimes a little before the 105 first pitch. Now today, it's a little bit of a wait. We're waiting for Chris Sale. He's grabbing onto the mound. He might have a couple of tosses, but they do most of their warm-ups down towards the pen, so it should just be a few tosses by Sale as we are getting set. And the Braves are off tomorrow. We are back on Thursday. If you're looking for that, Thursday is the next game, and it is a night game. So Thursday evening, 5:45 will come on, 6:05 first pitch Thursday evening. It looks like we're getting a pretty good sunny day here down in the Grapefruit League. A little bit of cloud coverage, but not much. And, yeah, that wind is whipping from right to left. Man, I'll tell you what, the Florida, U.S., and Braves flag are all just starched there behind left field. I wasn't sure if that was a misprint because I haven't seen the wind be projected that high in these spring games yet, especially at Cool Today Park, but it is definitely whipping from right to left. So it's going to be really difficult for a left-hander to get the ball out unless he goes oppo. So maybe I shouldn't have taken Ozzie Albies. I don't know if he'll get a right-handed swing. Probably would have been a little more realistic to take Austin Riley. We're just about set for pitch by pitch. It means that Chris Sale's at a disadvantage when he faces mostly right-handed lineup, because if you can get that ball up into that jet stream, it will take off like a bat out of hell. Sale is just about set. Got the bright red glove to match his bright red hat, and the first pitch on the way. Yes, sir! It is baseball time in Braves country. First pitch on the way is a swing and a miss. Lefty-lefty matchup. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Wallner, your batter. Kicks and fires. Outside, 1-1. Matt Wallner, 27-year-old from Forest Lake, Minnesota. So he's a homegrown twin. The 1-1 high and inside. That got a piece of him. Looks like it. If it got any of him, it had to have just like skipped across his jersey, because Wallner bent out of the way. He's not showing any sign of wear, and that was the fastball or possibly the sinker by Chris Sale coming in there in the low 90s. If it touched him, it barely touched him. Lefty-righty matchup. First pitch on the way from Sale is outside wide, almost pitch-out territory. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Kicks and fires. We'll get the screen set up. we'll have your normal screen come regular season. A little bit. There we go. 1-0 right there, first strike, 1-1. So a 1-1 count. Braves nothing. Twins nothing. The 1-1 swung on, belted high and deep down the right field line, but foul and out of play. 1-2. That wind is really ripping across. I'm sure it feels great for the fans out there in the stands. The 1-2. Check swing. Kind of an excuse me check swing. Chops it foul towards the first base dugout. We'll do it again. 1-2 count, runner on first. Nobody out, just getting going here in spring training. The pitch on the way, swung on and lifted high down the line. We'll do it again. Usually the pitchers go in there wanting to work on something specific, but if this was a real game, you would have to think that Chris Sale would be using that wind to his advantage, meaning trying to get guys to hit it towards the right field, pitch staying to the outside. The 1-2. Slapped high and out of the way. Do it again, 1-2. Looks like a pretty full crowd here at Cool Today Park today. Sunny day, wind whipping, got the palm trees bending. Good to see you, Nate. The 1-2. Swung on and chopper back towards the mound, just over Sale's outstretched glove. Tried to make a play on it, but Arcia comes up, bare hands it, fires it to first, and it's a 6-3 putout, and that's why Orlando Arcia continues to start for your Atlanta Braves. When you wonder why the guy hasn't had a hit in the spring, and come the regular season when he's hovering around that Mendoza line, it's plays like that why he's starting for the Atlanta Braves, and it doesn't hurt that he's just above league minimum for this year. So the runner from first, Walter, heads down to second. 1 on, 1 out. First pitch on the way to Castro is right down the pipe, first strike. It's 0-1. Willie Castro, shortstop, 27-year-old out of Puerto Rico. He's been with the Twins the last few years. Before that with the Tigers. Came into the league in 2019, the 0-1 in the dirt, 1-1. Braves nothing, Twins nothing. Top of the first, we're just getting going if you're just joining us. The 1-1, rips and fires. Swing, rips it over to third. Austin Riley's got it, fires it across the diamond. A laser for a 5-3 putout. 2 away. Runner at second stayed put. Chris Sale, 35 years old, nicknamed the Conductor. We still have his sound bites here somewhere. If he gets a strikeout, we might have to break it out today. He's from Florida, Lakeland, Florida. Went to college at Florida Gulf Coast and was drafted in the first round, 13th overall by the White Sox in 2010. First pitch on the way. He's inside for a ball. It's 1-0. 2024 Cy Young National League Cy Young Award winner, Chris Sale. It's pretty much just cementing a place in Cooperstown for the Conductor. The 1-0. Swing and a miss. Frisbee slider, the kind of a half-hearted swing that Larnach came around on, tried to hold up. By the way, Larnach's hitting .364 this spring and a .1273 OPS. The 1-1. Foul tipped off the bat, rolls away. Baldwin jumps on it, 1-2. Runner stays put. So a 1-2 count. Braves in the bottom of the first inning. We'll have Jurickson Profar, Ozzie Albies, and Austin Riley due up. The 1-2. Swung on, ripped over to second. Ozzie's got it, flips it to first, and that'll end the inning. So they put one on, but can't do nothing with it with the hit by pitch. When we come back, your Atlanta Braves will grab the bats. Here in Braves country, we got Grapefruit League action here on a Tuesday in March. Let's get it, Braves country.
If you put a nail in a hole, shut up. And you hammer it, shut up. It might not go all the way in the first time. Shut up.
The 4-beat movement. I made my man screech like a eagle last night. We got freedom back.
Random player of the day. Growing up, he won several tennis championships, was a ping pong champion, and was also a proficient golfer. In college, his battery mate was none other than Yankee great Thurman Munson. He was originally drafted by the Cleveland Indians in 1968, but didn't sign. 1 year later, he was drafted by the Giants, who signed him. Sports Illustrated said in 1971 that he might be a right-handed Sandy Koufax. He was once part of a trade that sent Ron Santo to the Chicago White Sox. His best year was 1980, where he led the league in wins with 25 and won the Cy Young Award. He retired in 1982 after reoccurring arm problems. He had a career record of 107 wins and 93 losses. This player is none other than Steve Stone.
Opening day, Greg Maddux. Doesn't sound too unusual, except today he's in the Atlanta Braves uniform. And Greg, how do you feel coming back in the uniform of the enemy?
Well, I'm excited. I'm excited about pitching opening day. It is a little awkward for me.
Yeah, that was a trip, you know. Sure enough, we go back to Chicago for opening day, and, you know, I remember waking up before the game, and, you know, you look at the paper, and it was like 10 reasons to boo Maddox. You know, I had been made out to be money hungry, didn't care about Chicago, didn't care about the fans. You know, that was kind of the furthest thing from the truth.
To be honest, he was still bitter, and I get it. I mean, I totally get it. Like, that was his team.
Greg Maddux, maybe the first time in his career, hearing boos like this.
Welcome back. First pitch on the way to Jurickson Profar's a swing and a miss. Ooh, a fastball right by him. Righty-lefty matchup. It's 0-1. Good to see you, Goat. Welcome in. The 0-1 just misses with the changeup off the edge. 1-1. 1-1 count. Jurickson Profar signed in the offseason with your Atlanta Braves. 3 years, $42 million. He'll get 12 this year, and then 15 each of the next 2 years. The 1-1's down and in 2-1. Profar from Curacao, same spot as Ozzie Albies. The 2-1, chopped towards the first base dugout. 2-2. So 2-2 count. Jurickson's brother was in the minor leagues till about 2019. Played minor league baseball for about 6 years. He was a third baseman, never cracked the majors. He is now out of the majors. They do not have his, as the 3-2 pitch is swung on and swatted back, foul, do it again. They do not have his age. I would assume Jurickson's the younger, but just going off of guessing. Just the payoff pitch swung on and slapped foul. We'll do it again. Randy Dobnik now has like a caveman beard. So if you missed it in the spring, the New York Yankees, first time since 1976, they are allowing beards. But Dobnik's beard would not be allowed. It's got to be well groomed. The payoff pitch, slice foul down the line. We'll do it again. Full count. Profar leading off the first. Here's the pitch. Inside, ball 4. So he'll head on down to first. Good start by Profar, pro good. And Ozhano Judy, Giandro Albies comes to the plate. First pitch on the way is right there on the edge. It's 0-1. And that's why they call him Ozzy. It's funny they have him nicknamed as his nickname is Bowley. I feel like his nickname's Ozzy, but whatever. He's from the same town as Profar, the 0-1. Check swing went around. 0-2. 0-2 count. Ozzy, 28 years old. Profar, 32. The 0-2. Kicks and fires. Down and in, good take by the Wiz. 1-2. Profar's getting a pretty good lead over there at first base. The 1-2 count. Dobnik delivers inside. They're going to call that an inside strike. Caught looking. Went away. Looked like it was a tad inside. I don't believe the ABS system is available for today's game. That's one that I think Ozzy would have challenged. Normally, I get an alert when we do have the ABS system. So we've only had it, I believe, one time since we've been doing these. First pitch on the way is up top for a strike. It's 0-1. Austin Riley, the batter. Profar at first. Nobody out. The 0-1. Swung on, lifted. That ball's going to get down for a base hit. And Austin Riley rips it into left field. And we've got runners on first and second. One out. Big Matt Olson coming to the plate. Good piece of hitting there by the rake. The slider that didn't slide, and he pulled it into left field. Shay just joining us. Ozzy struck out looking, but it looked like a pitch that was inside. First pitch on the way is high and out of the zone. It's 1-0. 1-0. Yeah, we don't do the daily show anymore with all the sports, so we're not doing the brackets this year, Robert. 1-0 right there on the outer edge, 1-1. We're going all in on the baseball. So I'm sure I'll fill one out on, on the freebie brackets on ESPN or something, but other than that, not keeping up with that nonsense this year. 1-1 count, swung on, chopped off his instep, 1-2. I enjoy them, and I do look forward to March Madness. We're not doing the Thursday, Friday beginning of March Madness. We're not doing any games that day because we've tried them in the past, and it's just not worth it. Like, everybody's locked into March Madness. But as far as like covering it, we're not covering it this year. The 1-2 swung on, lifted high into left field. The wind's going to push it down, down, down. Coming in, making the catch in left field for the Minnesota Twins for the second out of the inning is Larnach. So 2 down, and it'll leave it up to the Big Zoo. I'm sorry, De La Cruz. I think I said Zoo. Brian De La Cruz coming to the plate. See, coming into this, his nickname has been BDLC. I feel like De La Cruz is a lot easier to say, so that's what I'm going with. The 0-1. Right below the knees, I guess. 1-1. 1-1 count. De La Cruz with a 1,000 OPS so far this spring. Kicks and fires. Swing and a miss on the slider, 1-2. Braves nothing, Twins nothing. Bottom of the first inning, runners on first and second, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Tried to get him to chase that slider well outside the zone. It went into the left-hander's batter's box. It's 2-2. So Deuce is wild here in the bottom of the first. 2 on, 2 out, a 2-2 count. Pitch on the way. Swing, pops it up. Should be an easy play. Shallow right field. Going back, making the catch is the second baseman for the Twins. Gasper, and that'll end the inning. Braves put a couple on, but can't get them across. We'll head to the top of the second. 0-0 here in Braves country.
Holy f***. It's so hot. You think it's hot today? Just wait till you go to hell for abandoning your kids.
Suspect thinks a bottle of wine a night is okay because she deserves it. Suspect thinks the District of Columbia is in the ocean. Suspect does Pilates once a week, but it's her whole personality. Suspect said she needs to sell more cars, but I catch her scrolling TikTok all day. Suspect thinks that because she's the first female sales manager, she can lose money on every deal.
I just need y'all to know something. I ain't built for no soft man. I'm mouthy, I talk back, and I don't listen. Honey, you get what you get, and you don't pitch a fit.
Oh, honey, the only thing that you need to be mindful of is that I can go from fun to feral to federal real fast. Real fast.
You try not to let it get too personal, but it was hard. I mean, it was hard. First time I ever got booed, but talk about really wanting to win a game.
Back to the mound, could get 2. There's 1, there's 2.
The wind was blowing in, and it was the perfect pitching atmosphere at Wrigley Field.
Struck him out.
The way Maddox is throwing, the Cubs have their work cut out for them.
You could tell it was personal.
Line drive, easy out. He swung at another bad ball. 3-2. Struck him out. Boos or no boos, Maddox really looks invincible.
Pitched a shutout, which is pretty much all he did every year, 8 innings of shutout ball.
You know, you try not to let it get too personal, but yeah, that was a tough game for me. I was probably one of the best wins I've ever had personally.
Basically, it started a 3-year run of, unprecedented baseball.
Here's the 1-2. Struck him out. A 1-2-3 inning for Greg Maddox with a couple of strikeouts.
The best free agent signed in the offseason by any team in the major leagues. No argument here.
Welcome back. Chris Sale going back to work. First pitch on the way is inside for a ball. Looked like the slider. It's 1-0. Lefty-righty matchup. The 1-0. Teardrop at the knees on the inner cut. 1-1. Ty France, the batter. He's been all over, including bouts in Seattle. Designated hitter today is the 1-1 inside, takes it all the way. Two and 1. France now 30 years old. Lifetime batting average of 263 with 74 home runs, so he's got some pop with the 744 OPS. The 2-1, ball swung on and lifted high and deep into center field. Making the running catch is Michael the Hawk Harris with the loud out number 1. 75% of the world is covered by water, the rest by Money Mike. I thought that one might get up in that jet stream and take off over the wall. He doesn't get to that. It's going to hit the very top of the wall, that yellow line that they have out there in left center. First pitch on the way to the right-handed bat of Vasquez is down the pipe for a strike. It's 0-1. Christian Vasquez, 34-year-old, journeyman as well as the 0-1, inside 0-2. Probably remember him most before he came to Minnesota in 2023 with his career in Boston. The 0-2 down and away, 1-2. He was traded away at the end of the 2022 season when the Red Sox fell out of it. They sent him to Houston. But he was on that 2018 championship team with Chris Sale. The 1-2 down and away, 2-2. So ex-battery mates going at it head-to-head. No score. 1 out. Career 227 hitter with just 7 home runs. The 2-2 swung on. That ball's lifted high in the sky. Wind's not going to get that one out, as Profar will camp underneath it, 2 away. .221 with 7 home runs last year. Career-wise, he has 68 home runs and a .253 average. He's always been known as a solid hitter for a catcher. Jose Miranda, the third baseman, 26-year-old, digs in. Right-handed back, takes the first pitch. Inside heat for a ball. It's 1-0. Miranda from Puerto Rico, drafted by the Twins in 2016, the 1-0. Lifted high down the line. Drifting foul. Now to play, 1-1. One count. Here's the pitch. Just hits the strike zone. Top of the zone in the corner. 1-2. Miranda last year hit .284 with 9 home runs for the Twinkies. 1-2 count. It was a nice catch, Goat. 1-2. Frisbee slider caught, looking strike 3. He got caught watching the paint dry, and that'll end the inning. 3 up, 3 down. Braves will grab the bats when we come back here in Braves country. 0-0 your score in the Grapefruit League.
I can't believe you voted for Trump. He's a felon. Yeah, well, so is your baby daddy, but you still let him in your Oval Office.
I love going to the airport. You get to start off your vacation with excitement and extreme anxiety. And the airport's like, if you forgot anything, don't worry about it, because we'll sell it to you for 15 times the price. And you get to eat a hamburger at 8 a.m. and nobody cares. And you get to see people sleeping on the floor and in chairs in unnatural positions. And you get to do an x-ray and wonder how much they can see. And when you get into the wrong line by accident, someone will be like, yeah! And you're like, ugh. And then they're like, take off your shoes and drink all your liquids now. And then you get to go to the gate and they're like, whoops, we sold your seat 3 times, but you can paper, rock, scissors with the other people. So I love going to the airport.
Comes to Atlanta, blends in, and just continues to do his thing.
It's just ground ball after ground ball after ground ball.
Greg was one of those guys. When he pitched, it was fun to watch. It was intriguing to watch, to see what he did and how it worked and why it worked.
How could the Cubs let this guy go?
Got it. What a job. He's the best, folks. He is the best.
I'll tell you what, the Braves made a big investment in him, but he is quickly paying dividends.
He's pitching at the top of the rotation for one of the best teams in baseball. He was the stopper of losing streaks. He was the extender of winning streaks.
There is the best pitcher on the planet. He is a treat to watch operate.
He was completely magical on the mound in the sense of he was throwing the same baseball as everybody else, but it did different things for him.
I'll still recall the 19-2 season. Nobody could touch him.
Line drive back to Maddox.
In the era that we pitched, he was almost perfection.
Welcome back. Dobnik goes back to work. First pitch swinging by Michael Harris is chopped foul in between home and first. It's 0-1. 0-0 your score, bottom of the second inning here in the Grapefruit League. The wind up to pitch. Right there, kissing the black on the outer edge. It's 0-2. Michael Harris, Drake Baldwin, and Orlando Arcia due up if anybody gets on. Kid Kelnick. The 0-2. Inside. Did he go around? Looked like he might have. He did. Strike 3. Harris knew it. He started walking back to the dugout. 1 away. Drake Baldwin, if you missed us yesterday, he's the odds-on favorite to be the starting catcher for your Atlanta Braves on opening day. They could go the veteran route, but most likely he gets a chance. First pitch on the way is a bender at the knees inside. It's 0-1. Sean Murphy out 4 to 6 weeks with a cracked rib after getting hit by a pitch on Friday is the 0-1. Misses high, 1-1. 1-1 count. Braves nothing, Twins nothing. Here's the pitch. Swing, chops it foul. 1-2. Drake Baldwin, the left-handed bat last year in the minor leagues, to get an idea of what he's going to bring to the table. As the pitch is inside, just over his shoe tops, missing the zone. Evens up the count 2-2. Last year is the 2-2 inside ball 3. One thing that I've noticed with him is he's got good plate discipline, And as far as his numbers, 3-2, swung on, dragged over to first, should be an easy put out. G3 in your scorecard, it is. Went away. He was down in the minor leagues last year, 200 plate appearances in Mississippi and over 300 in Gwinnett. And during that time last year, he had 16 home runs and batted .276 with a .793 OPS. If he gets anything close to that, Braves fans will love the guy. First pitch on the way, swung on, that ball swatted towards right field, and that is Orlando Arcia's first hit of the spring. Get him off the schneid. It's about time. Just a little dinker into right field, and the Braves have 1 on, 2 outs here in the bottom of the second inning. Good to see Arcia skyrocket that batting average this spring to now 111. First pitch on the way to Kelenic is right there at the knees. It's 1-0. The 1-0. Kid Kelenic batted .273 last year. Runner on first, 2 outs. The 1-0 to Kelenic. Outside wide pitch out territory. Ball 2, 2-0. The 2-0 count. Lineup will flip over if Kelenic can get on. 25-year-old out of Waukesha, Wisconsin, drafted by the Mets in the first round in 2018. The 2-0. Man, was that a low strike on the outside. 2-1. Braves nothing, Twins nothing. Bottom of the second inning. Righty-lefty matchup. Here's the pitch. Outside wide ball 3, 3-1. Standing on deck is Jerickson Profar. The 3-1 to Kelenic. Outside wide ball 4. So Kelenic will head on down to first. We've got runners on first and second. There are 2 outs, but the top of the order due up. Jerickson Profar, and if he can keep the line moving, Ozzie Albies stands on deck. Austin Riley's in the hole. Profar walked his first time up. Righty-lefty first pitch swing. That ball's roasted down the first base line, but fouling into the corner. It's 0-1. Pretty full house. You don't see a lot of fans sitting out in the sunshine, but they are pretty well packed in over in the shaded area. There is quite a strong wind if you're just joining. It's about 17 miles an hour blowing right field to left field. The 0-1. Check swing foul. It's 0-2. Supposed to get up into the 70s, high 70s today here at Cooler Day Park. The 0-2. Dobnik. He'll step off the rubber for a second. Consider that his first move. The 0-2 from Dobnik. Here's the pitch. Outside wide, 1-2. 1-2 count. Braves nothing, Twins nothing. 1-2. Caught, looking, strike 3. That's a Bender inside that he's given the inside track. Probably a good 2 to 3 inches off the plate, but there is no ABS challenge in this game. We'll be back in a flash, rocking and rolling in Braves country on a Tuesday in the Grapefruit League.
Ain't a whole lot I'd do for a Klondike bar, but I'd do some questionable shit for a boat.
Hi, ma'am. I'm Gibby.
She doesn't speak English.
I'm still Gibby.
Another victory for the Irish. We get 15 minutes more sunlight in winter than the English. The UK gets dark at 7 minutes to 4. What a joke. We're all laughing at you. Whereas in lovely Ireland, it's 8 minutes past 4. I'd say on a sunny winter's day, it could even stretch to 9 or 10 minutes past 4. You literally don't even need the sun after this. When have you ever done something at 11 minutes past 4? It's dangerous to be working hard that late. All right then, Ireland, what are you doing then? We're grinding for another few minutes. Get into bed and eat your Savoy sausage. And look at Sweden. They don't even make it to 3 o'clock in the day. All the tax you're paying and you can't even get a bit of sunlight. Typical Spain hogging all the sun. 9 minutes to 6. That's practically the middle of the night. That's no time for sun. How are you supposed to sleep?
I remember one time he spoke to our pitchers in spring training, and he looked at them all. He goes, "You know why I'm a millionaire?" He said, "Because I can throw my fastball where I want to." He says, "You know why I got beachfront property in L.A.? Because I can change speeds." So then you looked at the pitchers and you said, "Fellas, it's not rocket science here."
He saw baseball in a way that other players and pitchers never did. He had a great line that the job of a pitcher, make the balls look like strikes and the strikes look like balls. Nobody ever did that better than Greg Maddux.
That is clearly not a strike till about 5-6 feet in front of the plate.
He wanted your catcher to align his body, the center of his body, on the corner. If it's a borderline strike, they're going to call it a strike. He said, so we need to create an illusion.
Welcome back. First pitch from Chris Sale. Drifts outside for a ball down and away. It's 1-0. Chris Sale throwing his 32nd pitch of the afternoon. 1-0, chops it foul. In between home and third. 1-1. Braves nothing. Twins nothing. Right-handed bat. Of Lee at the plate. 1-1. Called for a strike. Up top, 1-2. Brooks Lee, 24-year-old. Out of California, played his college ball at Cal Poly. Drafted by the Twins in the 8th round in 22. The 1-2 misses high. Tried again to chase the heater up top. Evens up the count 2-2. Lee batted .221 last year in 172 at-bats with Minnesota. 3 home runs. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Got himself a strikeout there. The conductor. I think it's the first one we've been able to celebrate. We'll go ahead and do it here in the spring. All aboard. Whoa, whoa. Chicka, 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 chicka. Whoa, whoa. Oh, baby. First pitch on the way is a P at the knees for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Braves nothing, Twins nothing, top of the third, the pitch. Swung on, lifted, high and deep into right field. Going back, making the running catch is Kelenic in the corner. Good running catch by Kelenic. 2 down. So that'll bring the left-handed bat of Waldner back up as the Order flips over. Lefty-lefty matchup. Wallner, is hit by a pitch his first time up. Bangs the first pitch foul behind him in between home plate and the on-deck circle on the first base side. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Kicks and fires. Right there for a strike, 0-2. So an 0-2 count. Lefty-lefty matchup. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. The conductor rolling. Another strikeout. We'll head to the bottom of the third, grab the bats, and try to get the lead when we come back.
Suspect pretends to be allergic to pine needles so he can never have a real Christmas tree.
Suspect insists having the AC on in the car even though it's snowing outside.
I get car sick. Suspect continues to tell dad jokes even though nobody laughs at him anymore.
Yes, they do. Suspect goes and buys more Christmas tree ornaments even though we have 2 full bins full.
They were on sale. Suspect thinks he's so cool because he backs into every single parking spot no matter how hard it is.
When you look annoyed all the time, people think that you're busy.
Moving on, were we looking with the client slide deck? Because I would love to get that by EOD if possible.
Yeah, no, we should be all set for end of December. I just talked to the team and we should have it by New Year. Yeah.
No, I'm going to stop you right there. EOD means end of day. It is imperative that we get that by the end of day.
Yeah, they emailed me about that this morning. So, okay, end of day, end of December. You see how that's confusing, right? I mean...
No, I explained this in the HR memo when... like you tried to reschedule our morning meeting to start back up in January. Like this 5 weeks we're working. Like this is not paid time off.
All right, well,
This is literally 3 slides.
I like to tell people, I never saw Van Gogh paint, but I saw Greg Maddux pitch, and that's what it was like.
Watch this ball move.
You were watching an artist at work.
When Greg Maddux gets ahead of you, you will see some funny-looking swings.
I never saw so many hitters get so frustrated, you know. He made them frustrated.
He's a poker player, the way he calculates. I've never heard another pitcher talk about finding outs. He would say there are 27 outs out there. You've got to find those 27 outs.
It was just trying to understand how hitters see the ball, and then what can I do with the ball to try to trick them. If I'm going to throw a changeup, I know it's not worth a unless I've thrown a low fastball for a strike. I have no way to trick the hitter. You know, you can't go fishing without bait. You got to bait the hook.
Welcome back. Ozzie Albies is your batter. Righty-lefty matchup as Dobnik goes back to work. Here's the pitch to Ozzie. Swing and a miss at the changeup on the outer edge. It's 0-1 goes to 0-2. So an 0-2 count. Infield is back and to the right. The pitch swung on and dragged foul down the first base line. Just foul of the first base bag. Happy Michael Harris Day. We're 23 days away from opening day. The 0-2. Inside 1-2. Standing on deck is Riley. Olson in the hole. If anybody gets on, De La Cruz. The 1-2. Down and in almost gets him in the leg. 2-2. So 2-2 count. It always amazes me when the guys with the open stance like Ozzie has that will they'll wear the protector on the front foot but not the back, and it's really the back one that's really exposed. The 2-2 down and in, 3-2. I mean, if you're putting one on, I just kind of feel like you ought to just throw another one on for giggles. The payoff pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. He went with that slider down and in 4 consecutive times, and he finally got him to bite. That'll bring Austin Riley to the plate. Austin Riley. This spring batting .267 with an 800 OPS. First pitch on the way. Swing and a miss strike. It's 0-1. He blasted one the other day against the Yankees. Most of your Braves starters did not make the trip over to face the Rays yesterday, but we are at home, so you see most of them in there today. The 0-1 down and away, 1-1. Braves with an off day tomorrow as well, so a little surprised we don't see a couple of guys in there, but they probably want to get some work with some others. 1-1. You go around. He did 1-2. So they check down the line. Cardinals lead the Mets 1-0 early on in their spring game. 1-2 count. Dobnik goes with that slider again. Swing and a miss. 2 down. He gets to 2 strikes. He will just dig in and not budge on using that slider. He figures you are going to get yourself out one way or the other with it. Matt Olson coming to the plate. First pitch on the way to Olson is ripped over towards first, and that's going to get through the hole. A seeing eye single for your Atlanta Braves. I mean, you couldn't have thrown it to a better spot over there on the right side of the diamond. Going over and trying to make the tumbling grab was the second baseman of the Minnesota Twins, Gasper. He went head over heels trying to knock that ball down, but to no avail. First pitch on the way to De La Cruz is down and in for a ball. It's 1-0. Not only has he been hot this spring, but De La Cruz batting behind Olson kind of tells you that he's a given to make the team. The 1-0. Right there for a strike, 1-1. Very club-friendly signing for the Braves. And he will be expected to be more of a platoon player. But before Acuna comes back, you might see him in there almost every day. The 1-1. Outside wide, 1-2. We've seen him several times over the years. He was a Florida Marlin since 2021. The 1-2 swung on and lifted into center, but that wind is going to push it and knock it down. That'll end the inning. So the Braves get one on, but that's it. We'll be back at a flash. 0-0 your score here in Grapefruit Country. On this date in baseball history, March 4th, 1912, with the shacks torn down and the garbage pits filled in the Pigtown section of Brooklyn, Charles Ebbets breaks ground for his team's New Bedford Avenue ballpark. The Dodgers Flatbush facility, which will serve as the team's beloved home for 44 years, will be named for its owner as Ebbets Field. And on March 4th, 1913, the New York Yankees become the first team to train outside of the United States when they start spring training in Bermuda, playing 9 games against the International League's New Jersey Skeeters, the minor league team that had trained on the island nation in 1912. Playing on a converted cricket field in Hamilton known as Bernard Park today. March 3rd, 1948, St. Louis Cardinals outfielder Stan the Man Musial ends his holdout, signing for $31,000, the same salary that he made the season before. That's after the new owners assure him that his salary will increase based on his performance. Musial gets a pay raise of $5,000 when he is hitting .403 at the All-Star break in 48, en route to being named the National League MVP. On this date in 1972, the Rangers swapped former 30-game winner Denny McLain to the Oakland A's for 2 minor league pitchers, Jim Panther and Don Stanhouse. After making the 5 starts for his new team, the 2-time Cy Young Award winner will be traded to the Atlanta Braves in Cepeda. And on March 4th, 1919, Giants manager John McGraw sells Slim Saley to the Reds. But the team will purchase the southpaw back next year. During his 5 seasons in New York, Slim compiles a 42-23 record and an ERA of 2.26. And that's your Braves Country Radio on this date in baseball history. Welcome back. First pitch on the way from Sale, going out there for his 4th inning. Is 88 miles outside the zone. It's 1-0. The 1-0. Kicks and fires. Throws a sinker on the outer edge. 1-1. Lefty-righty matchup. 1-1 count. Just misses. 2-1. Braves infield is back into the left. Outfield pretty straight away. Just a shaded to a hair to the left as the 1-1 is nowhere near the zone. 3-1. This is the longest Sale has thrown. So you wonder how long they'll give him. The 3-1. This is outside, ball 4. So a 5-pitch walk to start the inning will send Bader down to first. Willie Castro come to the plate. Lefty-righty matchup. Runner on first. Here's the first pitch. Swing and a miss. 92 right up in his kitchen. It's 0-1. Castro 0 for 1 on the day. The 0-1. Rocks and fires. Swung on and lifted foul down the line. Plenty out of play on the right field side. 0-2. No 2 count. Braves nothing, Twins nothing. Top of the 4th inning. The pitch. Swing. Lifted foul and out of play into the shaded area. Past the first base dugout. Good to see Gary and Jameson in the chat here on our YouTube channel. If you're elsewhere, jump on in. It's Braves Country Radio on YouTube. YouTube.com/@BravesCountry. The 0-2 flips it over to first. We're going to be here for just about every game this year. We will be here for Sunday games. The only time we will not be here is right before the All-Star break and right after the All-Star break. The 0-2, runner on the go, slaps it over towards first. Olsen will step on the pillow, but Bader will easily make it down to second base and go into scoring position, 1 down. If you missed the announcement, we are moving. Me and my wife are moving, and those few days I may have to miss a broadcast here or there. Really depends on how it plays out. But outside of that, we're going to the All-Star game this year. And as the first pitch on the way is swung on and lifted foul and out of play, it's 0-1. So that's Sunday before the All-Star game, and then I'd say probably that Friday and maybe that Saturday, depends on what time we get back in town. After the All-Star game we'll miss, but other than that, the plan is to do every game this year. The 0-1, Sale brings it. Slap foul down the line. It's 0-2. Runner on second, 1 out. Braves and Twins are knotted up at nothing. Larnick trying to get Bader in. Standing on deck is Ty France, the right-handed designated hitter. The 0-2. Swung on and broken bat's going to roll down to third. Riley's going to get the play, and he's going to get the out as he flips it over to first easily. Runner will move from second to third. On the play, I think Larnick was surprised that ball stayed foul. State Fair, excuse me. The bat snapped in half, and it basically just rolled out there, and Riley had plenty of time as Larnick, by the time he realized that where the ball was, he was dead to rights. So a bit of a fortunate play for the Braves there. Though they get the base, there are 2 outs, and Ty France comes on. Batting .625 this spring with a 1925 OPS. Here's the first pitch to France. Swing! Chops it between home and first. It's 0-1. We'll be back on the call Thursday, 6:05 against the Marlins. The 0-1 down and in, 1-1. And then Saturday's game is a 12:45 first pitch against Pittsburgh. Friday's game is not broadcasted. There are no cameras in the building, so we won't be here. Remember, you lose an hour this weekend as we spring forward. The 1-1. Below the knees, 2-1. Bader jumping back and forth. He was at least halfway down the first base line. A 2-1 count. Here's the pitch. Right there for a strike. Frisbee froze him on the outer edge. 2-2. It's almost like Bader's thinking about stealing home. You wouldn't normally see that in a spring game, much less from a veteran, but Bader's trying to make sure he makes this team. Ex-Yankee, ex-Met, ex-Cardinal, the 2-2. Man, where did that miss? That fastball was right there on the outer edge. He has definitely called that a strike, that area to a strike for a couple of Braves batters. Try not to get the blood boiling in a spring training game on the strike zone, but the payoff pitch, lifted down the line, foul and out of play. We'll do it again. Y'all were talking about the college basketball tournaments. It kind of snuck up on me. Last night I was flipping around and I saw that JU, Jacksonville University, was playing. And I started watching. I was like, man, they got a pretty good crowd. I did not realize that they were already in tournament play in the smaller conferences. The payoff. Caught! Looking strike 3. P at the knees, and we'll grab the bats when we come back. 0-0 your score here in Braves country. We'll see if we can crack onto the scoreboard in just a flash. Here are your 2025 American League Central PECOTA projections. Projected at just 61 wins and 100 losses, it's the Chicago White Sox finishing in last place. Just in front of the Windy City, the Detroit Tigers are projected at 79 wins and 83 losses. The Cleveland Guardians projected at third, 79.7 wins, 82.3 losses. And the Kansas City Royals at 81.6 wins and 80.4 losses. While the Minnesota Twins bounce back with 87 wins and 75 losses. Braves Country Radio's 2025 AL Central predictions look a little different than the PECOTA projections. We'll keep the Chicago White Sox in last place. You figure nobody can do as bad as one of the all-time teams did last year. We'll give the White Sox 62 wins. In fourth, well ahead of Chicago, give me the Minnesota Twins. They'll hover around the 78-win total. The Detroit Tigers got red hot down the stretch last year and found their way into the playoffs. We think they'll fall just short in 2025 with about 84 wins. While the Cleveland Guardians will be neck and neck with the Kansas City Royals. Cleveland's pitching staff will bring them 85 wins in 2025, and the Kansas City Royals find a way to win the AL Central at about 86 wins. And that's your Braves Country Radio 2025 PECOTA projections. Make sure to tune in Wednesday, March 26th for Braves Country Radio's 2025 preview show. We'll do predictions for all 30 Major League Baseball teams, give you our picks for division winners, wild card teams in the National League and American League, along with MVP and Cy Young predictions. That's Wednesday, March 26th, right here on Braves Country Radio. Welcome back. New pitcher for the Minnesota Twins. Left-hander coming into the game. We're going to pronounce it Colombe. Not 100% sure how he's... It's almost like someone spelled Colombo wrong, but Danny Colombe, 35-year-old from St. Louis, Missouri, was drafted by the Dodgers in 2012 out of Texas Tech. The 0-1's right there for a strike to Michael Harris. It's 0-2. He's bounced all over in the majors, in the bullpens. Oakland, Minnesota, Baltimore. So we haven't seen a ton of them in the National League. The 0-2 just misses the outside track. It's 1-2. Lefty-lefty matchup. Standing on deck is Baldwin. Then you got Arcia. And that's your Braves Country Radio 2025 PECOTA projections. Make sure to tune in Wednesday, March 26th. The 2-2. Not sure what that was. Pitch on the way. Swung on. Chopped it over to first. Going to step on the bag. Just beat the hustling Michael Harris over there to first. 1 down. One down. Drake Baldwin, we'll see how he fares against a left-handed veteran. First on the pitch to Drake is up top. For a ball, it's 1-0. The 1-0 just misses. 2-0. 2-0 count. Braves and Twins scoreless here in the bottom of the fourth. The pitch, high and inside, 2-1. On deck is Orlando Arcia. He got his first base hit of the spring. And after that, Kelnick, the 2-1. Just misses outside, ball 3-1. It's one thing that I read on the scouting report about Baldwin. You can expect he is a very patient at the plate. And that, you know what, I am here for that because we have so many guys that try to ambush as the 3-1. Down below the knees, ball 4. So how about that? We'll get things going here in the bottom of the fourth. Drake Baldwin is aboard. To me, a walk is better than a single, no matter how you slice it, because you force the pitcher to use several pitches to get on. First pitch on the way to Orlando Arcia is inside for a ball. It's 1-0. The 1-0. Colombe kicks and fires with his teal glove. High kick. Down and away, 2-0. 2-0 count. Cardinals still lead the Mets 1-0 in spring training ball. They're going to have a quick powwow on the mound with Colombe. I believe that's just Vasquez trying to get him under control. He's missed the zone quite a bit in the last few pitches. Two 0 to Arcia. Runner at first. He's Good speed for a catcher, and Baldwin, the 2-0, right there at the knees. Sinker inside, 2-1. You know, with Baldwin this year, excuse me, not Baldwin, Arcia this year, I don't even feel like we need him to do what he did in 2023. Just something in the middle. Something where he's getting on base. I don't care about the home run total. Work the count. We don't need to see the early outs from Arcia where he slams the bat, putting on the show. Go up there and work the count. The 2-1 pitch. Pops it up, slams the bat. Catch is made in center field for an easy out, 2 away. I feel like that has become, he did not do that a couple of seasons ago, and he started doing it last year where he's putting on a show, helicoptering the bat when he knows he's out. Baldwin inching off of first. First pitch on the way to Kelnick, lefty-lefty matchup. Pitch off the plate, but called for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Baldwin will try to steal from time to time. The pitch. Swing! Fouls it straight back, 0-2. That was a hanger that Kelnick just mistimed. Drake Baldwin, by the way, he's from Madison, Wisconsin, played his college ball at Missouri State, and was drafted in the 3rd round by your Atlanta Braves in 2022, so he has skyrocketed through the minor leagues. The 0-2 to Baldwin. Here's the pitch. Swing. Bangs it over to first, and that'll end the inning. I think I said Baldwin, I meant Kelnick. And Kelnick, G3 in your scorecard. Well, the Braves get one on, but can't do anything with it. We'll head to the 5th. It's scoreless here in Braves country.
Do you believe in true love in your culture, in my culture? Do you mean Irish people? We're just normal. Like we're not like out in the forest. Like we're just normal. I have a television and stuff.
Your name Peter?
Do I look like my fucking name is Peter, you skunk-hard mother?
She just called me a mother.
You understood that, didn't you, you bow-legged bastard?
Look, if everybody's sitting around and your mama gets up and grabs a Diet Coke out of the fridge, a pack of Virginia Slims, starts walking towards the back door and says, I'm losing my shit, get up. Get up and help. Get up and go outside and play. Get up and leave. You know the drill.
I think they have a fairly complicated set of signs that they go through.
I never told this to anybody, but he called his own pitches.
I think it's pretty amazing how he did it. So how he caught the ball from Eddie determined what the next pitch was going to be.
Tap his leg with his glove. That is a sign to Eddie Perez.
Nobody ever knew it. I mean, it was kind of brilliant.
They don't call him a professor for nothing.
It was a regular season game, and Bobby sent Leo out to tell Maddox that he wanted to walk Gonzalez. Louis Gonzalez hit Maddox pretty good. Doggy's like, nope, not gonna do it.
The guy goes, what? He goes, give me 2 pitches. I think I can pop him up to third base.
He goes, I'm gonna throw him a changeup down and away, first pitch, then I'm gonna throw him a cutter, middle in, and he's gonna hit a pop-up to chipper, and we're gonna get out of this inning. Leo just kind of looks at him, and he looks at the rest of us, and he goes, okay. And he turns around, and he walks back to the dugout. And I mean, you can hear Bobby's just pissed. So, sure enough, he throws him changeup down and away, ball 1, cutter in.
Got under this one a little bit, pops it down the left field line.
And I'm standing underneath the pop-up, just thinking, you have got to be kidding me. Caught it, inning over.
Bobby and I look at each other and went, unbelievable.
Welcome back. Vasquez will lead us off. Jake Diekman, southpaw, is now on. Start the 5th inning. So Chris Sale, to close the books on him, went 4 innings, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts. He also had the hit by pitch. First pitch on the way from Diekman's right there at the knees for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Fastball right there, 93 miles an hour on the inner track. 0-2. An 0-2 count. Braves nothing, Twins nothing. 23 days away from opening day. Here's the pitch. Right there for a strike. 1-2. You got to figure right now that Chris Sale gets the opening day start. Is the 1-2 pitch. Did he go around? They're going to check down the line. He did not. Didn't look like he gave much of an offer as the bender slid down inside. 2-2. And then to me, the real question mark is going to be, do they have Schwellenbach as the 2 or Raylo? Either one of them, Ronaldo Lopez or Schwellenbach. I'm fine with either one. I'm just more curious than anything else. The 2-2 lifted into left field. And drifting back, making the catch is Profar. 1 away. This week and next week, you'll see most of the players, especially in the home games, trying to get at least 3 at-bats. As we get a little closer, you might see them play almost the full game. Because there is conditioning that goes along with it. You just don't want your star players to just go out there and just play a few innings. And then all of a sudden opening day comes around and you're not ready. But at the same token, you're trying to toe that line as the first pitch from Diekman misses for ball 1-0. Try not to get guys hurt like Sean Murphy. 1-0. Swung on and lifted into left field. Down for a base hit. That's a 1-out single for the Twins to start off the top of the 5th. Caught a clip of one of the Braves, or actually not Braves, it's an Atlanta talk show. And they were arguing back and forth about the whole Sean Murphy injury. One of the guys was saying he's done with Sean Murphy. He's through with him. He feels like this injury is going to be an excuse baked in for another bad year. The other guy was trying to defend him and say, hey, man, you get with a 95-mile-an-hour fastball as the first pitch. It's foul back. It's 0-1. That's not really injury prone. That's just a 95-mile-an-hour fastball hitting the back of your ribs. I'm just kind of curious where y'all are at on this, because you can talk me into either side because he had such a bad year last year. And remember in 2023, he started off hot and then he fell off. It was really Travis d'Arnaud more than Sean Murphy that hit well in the back half of the season. So in theory, we're going to have about 2 years of nothing out of Sean Murphy. The 1-1 from Diekman in the dirt. 2-1. 2-1 count. Appreciate everybody hitting the likes. I guess John says we're around 140 or so. The 2-1. Swung on and lifted into right field. Coming over, making the catch. By Kelnick. 2 away. Jason just told me he believes they just ran a commercial talking about the likes on a couple of the stations. That might have something to do with it, John. 2 down. John says Murphy, he hates him and loves him, knowing AA gave it. Yeah, that's always going to be my biggest problem with Murphy. It's not his fault, but we gave away Contreras, and at the time he was becoming my favorite player. As the first pitch to Diekman is outside for a ball, it's 1-0. I still can't believe that we gave him up, knowing what we were going to run into with Travis d'Arnaud and lose him because of age. 1-0 down and away, 1-1. But I think that they thought at the time, because if you remember, this is when the whole bases were being expanded, that it was going to be incredibly important. Is the 1-1 chop foul down the line? We'll do it again. That it was going to be incredibly important to have a superior catcher behind the plate defensively. That just hasn't been the case. Everybody's stealing on almost. There's like 2 catchers in Major League Baseball you don't run on, and that's about it. The 1-2 runner goes, speak of the devil, and the pitch is high and deep down the line, out of play. And Contreras was continually getting better and better defensively behind the plate. Was he great when he was traded? No, but you've seen the progress, and I always had the belief he was going to get better because of who his brother was, that there would just be tips that his brother could give him. But anyways, that ship has sailed. The 1-2 swung on and lifted high in the sky over there where the wind's blowing out, but it's going to knock it down. You got to really get it up in that jet stream to get it going. That'll end the inning, and the Braves will grab the bats. We head to the bottom of the 5th, nada here in grapefruit action.
Wow, you're such an emotionally strong person.
Thank you. I literally have no other option.
Did you hear the story about the kid who was outside the Democratic fundraiser selling kittens? When the people came out from the fundraiser, he was holding up the kittens and he was saying, "Buy a Democrat kitten." Well, a couple of weeks later, the Republicans held a fundraiser in the same place. And when they came out, there was the same kid with the kittens. And he said, "Buy a Republican kitten." And one of the members of the press who'd seen him there 2 weeks before said, "Wait a minute, kid. You were selling these kittens the last time as Democrat kittens. How come the Republican kittens now?" Kid says, "Because now they got their eyes open."
Golf is a nice, relaxing way to get super frustrated and really disappointed in yourself.
Y'all, somebody said this presidential election was like nobody was listening to mom, and then dad came home.
Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, the World Series to be played here for the 3rd time in the last 5 seasons.
I think when you look at the 95 Braves, you're looking at the confluence of this great pitching staff and an offense as well that was just dynamic. I mean, the Braves' talent was probably at its peak at that point, and if it wasn't going to be 95, I don't know when it was going to be.
After you've been to the World Series a couple times, it doesn't take a lot as a player to start looking at it and realize that, you know, you're only going to get so many opportunities.
I think our first 8 World Series losses were all by 1 run. 95 was essential for us.
I mean, I remember that was my first World Series. I had watched their 2 World Series on the couch in Vegas. The nerves, the excitement, you're at a 10 nerve-wise. They don't get any higher than they could get.
Maybe the best pitcher of his time in the minds of many, Greg Maddux, is on the mound tonight.
Welcome back. Hey, Edward Spry. I haven't seen you all spring, I don't believe. Good to see you. First pitch on the way to Jerks, and Profar leads us off. Righty-lefty. Swing. That ball's hit into right field. Hard hit ball, but it's an atom ball out there in right. F9 in your scorecard. 1 away. Yeah, that's the problem with, and it's always going to be baked in to the whole Sean Murphy argument, is that we know what we gave up to get him. Not only did we give up a much better catcher, in my opinion, we had to pay Murphy through the nose. It'd be different if it was Contreras that was making all that money and Murphy was getting the cheap. That's not the case. The 0-1 to Ozzie Albies. Down and in, did he go around? Looked like he might have. They checked down the line at third base. He did get the strike called. It's 0-2. But the guy that was making the argument is the 1-2 misses high. Or 0-2 misses high, excuse me, 1-2. He was basically saying that now that he's got the rib injury, this is going to be an excuse they're going to have all year why he doesn't play well. 1-2. In the dirt, 2-2. Because remember last year it was the oblique, and that happened right at opening day. So he missed essentially almost 2 months with that. And when he came back, the offense was in shambles already. He's the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Ozzie down on strikes. 2 down. So it turned into a situation where you're not only does he come back and he's slow to get going because of the injury, but then also the offense is falling apart at that point because Acuna disappears. Down the road, you lose Riley and Ozzie and everything else. So the entire lineup was just a dumpster fire. As the first pitch to Riley is swung on and lifted down for a base hit, and that's a 2-out single for your Atlanta Braves. So I really believe it was more of a perfect storm of why the offense was so bad. I'm not going to blame Sean Murphy, and I'm not going to say that Sean Murphy, his struggles were all because of him getting injured, and that was just an excuse. I feel like that entire offense just, hitting can be contagious, but so can the lack of hitting. First pitch inside to Olsen is their first strike. It's 0-1. Yes, Brian, I would love to see Cease, but I don't think it's going to happen. The 0-1 pops it up high in the sky, fighting the sun, making the catch in center field is Bader, and that'll end the inning. So the Atlanta Braves will get back out there on the bump. It's scoreless in the Grapefruit League. We head to the 6th inning here at Cool Today Park.
This generation is you guys. Boomers look back and go, holy crap, I can't believe I burned the flag and just stopped wearing a bra. Gen X looks back and we say, holy I can't believe I wore MC Hammer pants and curled my bangs. Millennials look back and go, holy cow, I cannot believe I went through a goth phase. This generation, when they reach 40, they're gonna look back and go, holy I can't believe I cut my wiener or my tits off.
Suspect took an everything shower but forgot to shave her mustache.
Talk to me. Suspect hates to spend money, but DoorDashes every single meal.
Suspect complains about my DoorDash spinning, yet she burns water.
Man, you ever get stuck working with the woke on the job? There's always complaining about the white man holding them down, talking about he can't get ahead in life. Like, you've been washing dishes for 12 years. Who fault that is?
I'm just gonna put this out there. If you're a celebrity, I don't give a hot, steamy, corn-textured turd who you're voting for. If your biggest struggle is which red carpet event to attend this year, you don't make the list of informed sources for politics. Shut your mouth, go back to your movie set. The rest of us have to go to work.
I remember being at that 95 World Series, and I remember writing that this was Greg Maddox's series. This was his stage, and, you know, he was facing a really, really great Cleveland lineup. So this was going to be the ultimate challenge for Greg Maddox, and, you know, he comes out in Game 1 and essentially says, we're not losing the series.
12 straight set down by the professor.
It's a clinic.
The Braves win Game 1 on a superb pitching effort by Greg Maddox.
Game 1, I think, was obviously one of the most important games because we got to see firsthand just how potent and scary the Cleveland Indians lineup was. And Maddox showed you how to pitch to it. And the rest of the guys kind of followed along after that.
The team of the 90s has its world championship.
Those of y'all listening on radio and other places, not on YouTube, we're chatting in the chat. I just threw out the question, could we trade Dylan Cease? Can we trade Sean Murphy for Dylan Cease? Essentially, the money would even out. And that's the biggest reason why I believe the Braves have not made the trade for him. First pitch on the way, swung on, fouled back out of play. It's 0-1. And the problem with the Cease trade is sometimes you can trade prospects to get a guy like Cease. But the problem with the Cease trade is the pitch from Elder, who's come in to pitch. It's right there, first strike. It's 0-2. Bryce Elder coming in a relief role. We'll see how long he goes. The biggest concern I have with that trade even happening is that the only reason why the Padres are moving him is to save money. Is he 0-2? He's inside 1-2. So if the Braves aren't willing to pick up money, and let's say they're looking to pick up a veteran and you pick up some money and they'll give you a prospect kind of thing, is the 1-2 in the dirt 2-2. Then that kind of eliminates Dylan Cease if you believe that that's where they're going. And the tea leaves read that way. The 2-2 in the dirt. Did he go around? They said he did. Strike 3. First time we've seen Bryce Elder in this relief role, but it doesn't necessarily mean anything because with an off day and just trying to get guys work in, you just never know. I believe Edward was the one asking about the bullpen. First pitch on the way is down and away for a ball. It's 1-0. We were talking about this the other day on here, and for those of y'all who haven't caught up with this, we're doing a lot of spring training games this year. As the 1-0 is a soft liner over to first. LeBlanc with the play. Eli White is in at second base. We'll hit all the different substitutions real quick. Carlos Rodriguez is in for Profar. Eli White in for Albies. Luke Williams is at third for Riley. LeBlanc is at first. Marisnik is in center now. Leon is behind home plate as the first pitch on the way. Righty-lefty matchup to Castro. Swing and a miss, strike. It's 0-1. Nick Allen comes on to play short for Orlando, and Capel is in right. The 0-1, bang foul, 0-2. They've had some pretty interesting additions to the bullpen. Think you mentioned Buck Farmer. Hector Neris, I'll be honest with you, I would be shocked if he makes the team, but we'll see what happens. The 0-2, outside wide, 1-2. The real players in the bullpen, Roddy Munoz has a chance. Angel Perdomo definitely has a chance. Anderson Pilar's pitched pretty well. As the 1-2 misses high, 2-2. Of course, you're going to have Aaron Bummer. I believe Daysbel Hernandez is a back of the bullpen guy. Maybe Domingo Gonzalez, but is the 2-2. Sinker misses high and inside. Full count. The one thing about Daysbel Hernandez, and he has pitched very well, but here's the game that we're going to hear about playing. He still has two options. Payoff pitch. Lifted over towards short against the shift. It'll get through the infield. It'll be a 2-out single for the Twins. It's a long single coming over and cutting off the play and keeping it to a single is Marisnik. 2 away. Larnach will be the batter, righty-lefty matchup. But Daysbel Hernandez, in theory, you could send him down to the minors and you're fine because, and that does come into play with these decisions because they're looking at a 162-game season. And do they send him down to the minors, use him sparingly, keep him fresh for later in the year? And I could definitely see that happening. I'm not pulling for that because I want to win every game early on because I believe you can work yourself into a mess with that kind of theory as the 0-1 pitch bounces away in the dirt. Wild pitch by Bryce Elder. The runner will move down to second. But just because we want them to put Hernandez up there on the big club doesn't mean they're going to do it. Some of the other guys that you're looking at, obviously Pierce Johnson's a slam dunk. Dylan Lee, the 1-1 swing and a miss, 1-2. I don't think they're quite ready to give up on a Bryce Elder or a AJ Smith-Shawver and put him in the pen. I think they're more likely to keep them stretched out because you're going to need them. 1-2. Bangs it over to the ground. Over on second. It's going to be a 4-3 putout, and that'll end the inning. LeBlanc makes the catch. White makes the toss, and we'll head back to the dugout and grab the sticks. Bottom of the sixth we go. 0-0 here in Cool Today Park.
One thing I remind myself of every single time I want to put somebody above or below me is that we have all been sitting on the john out of toilet paper and considered looking in the bathroom trash for secondary wiping options. Keeps me humble.
Hey Braves country, I'm Mac Magee. Join us for Pitch by Pitch, Play by Play, the classic call of Braves country baseball. We're bringing you Atlanta Braves baseball all year long. Jump into our pregame show, Braves Country Today, just before first pitch, where we will react to your comments all year long. That's Braves Country Radio, pitch by pitch, play by play, your home for the classic call of Braves Country Baseball.
So what is your name as a group?
The Click.
Click or click?
Click.
Man, I hate this job for real. I do too. When you gonna quit? I'm gonna quit the same day you quit. Matter of fact, when you put your 2 weeks in, let me see the paper so I can write on the back, me too, these jobs. Everything good over here? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Verse 2.
They have been baseball's best team over the last 5 years. And finally, the one missing piece is in place.
I remember running out to the dog pile, and I know it might sound stupid, but we won state in high school, and we had a dog pile. And I remember going out there, dog piling with everybody, going, God, we did this in high school. This is cool. Now we're doing it on TV in the big leagues. There's cameras, and everybody knows about it. You felt like you really accomplished something. And, you know, to share the success with, you know, your teammates, coaches. Pretty cool, pretty special feeling.
What's going to prevent this team from being a dynasty? Certainly not their pitching staff.
Braves Country Radio, your home for the classic call of Braves Country Baseball. Welcome back. While we were at break, they were talking about, and by no means do I think they're giving up on SSAJ, AJ Smith-Shawver. I was just saying that for this year, I don't think they're going to put him in the pen unless you're talking about the very end of the year, because they want to keep him stretched out in case they need him for longer innings. First pitch on the way, righty-righty matchup. Get you caught up on that. Is up top for a strike. It's 0-1. Garrett Cooper is on to play first. The 0-1 right there. Outside 1-1. Excuse me, he's coming on for designated hitter for De La Cruz. LeBlanc was at first. 1-1, outside wide. Call for a wide, strike 1 and 2. You're talking about not wanting to give up on Waldrop and develop him. I mean, I don't think that's the case, but he could be the asking price for Assis. This is the 1-2 is foul back. We'll do it again. If you're going to have to give up, you're going to have to give up someone like a Waldrop to get a cease and have them take some money on. That's for sure. They're not just going to take every scrap heap that we've got. It's the 1-2. Swing. That ball's lifted into left center field, and that's down for a base hit. Coming around, cutting it off, and bottom of the 6th we go. We've got a leadoff base runner. Cooper hit that ball, almost got it all the way to the wall. He gets to the wall. Cooper does make it to second base. A little shoddy camera work that we're dealing with, but it is a double. I thought it would be, but wasn't 100% sure. They have the bouncy camera going on. First pitch on the way. Marisnik squares up, tries to drop a bunt down, pops it back behind him. It's 0-1. Yeah, if we're going to get a Dylan Cease and have them take on money, you're talking about having to trade someone like an A.J. Smith-Shawver or a Hurston Waldrop. And probably more likely, unfortunately, to be a Shawver because he's more ready, more big league ready at this point. The 0-1. Swing and a miss, 0-2. There's the other option that a team like San Diego could go for. That's one of our top prospects, like an Owen Murphy, who's coming off of Tommy John and is willing to wait because of the control they would have and could develop him. But I think if you trade someone like a Murphy, you're going to have to give up someone else as well. The 0-2. Swung on, ripped over to second, and it's going to move the runner over. Good defensive play over there, deep into short by the Twins. I didn't think that Lee was going to get to that, but that's a good defensive play. He'll get the runner out 6-3 put out, and on the play, Cooper moves over to first. That'll bring Sandy Leon, who's batting .400, 2 home runs, 2 RBIs. But he's got a 2.100 OPS right now. You know, Sandy's like, man, I'm ready for opening day right now. First pitch on the way is right down the pipe. First strike, it's 0-1. Him and Tromp are the 2 reasons why I would say if Baldwin does not play well in the spring, and he has played well, but let's say he slumps the next couple of weeks, it's not a given that he's going to take that roster spot. He's 0-1 right there, first strike, it's 0-2. You could have a couple of veterans easily spell what little production Murphy gave between Trump and Leon and not waste an option on the youngster Baldwin. The 0-2 swung on, chopped off his foot. It'll roll over to first, but dead ball. Do it again, 0-2. The infield is in. .02 count. Blue wiping off home plate, buying Sandy Leon some time. As that ball went right off his foot, but he appears to be okay. The 0-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. 2 away. So Leon strikes out after the ground out by Marisnik. That'll bring Nick Allen, who's on to pinch hit for Orlando Arce. He's batting .417 with a .962 OPS this spring. He appears to be a shoe-in for one of the bench spots. First pitch on the way is down and away for a ball. It's 1-0. 1-0. Capel's on deck. If he would keep it rolling, the order would flip over, but the backups are in. The 1-0. Up top misses, 2-0. Runner at third, 2 outs, and a scoreless tie here in the bottom of the 6th. Wow, that is a ripper. They just announced on ESPN a little while ago that Kyrie Irving has torn his ACL. He's out for the season. Quick powwow on the mound, though, to get set back. A 2-0 count to Allen. Cooper at third. Here's the pitch. Outside wide, 3-0. Man, if that front office wasn't in enough trouble trading away Luka Doncic, now they lose Kyrie for the season. Wow. The 3-0. Just hit the outer part of the zone, 3-1. Good to see you, Ron. The 3-1. Pitch on the way, misses high. Ball 4. So he'll head on down to first. Work his way aboard. We've got runners on the corners. 2 outs, and Connor Capel comes to the plate. .774 OPS with a .333 batting average this spring. Looking to get the go-ahead RBI here. Bottom of the 6th, 0-0. 2 on, 2 out. First pitch on the way is a cutter up top for a strike. It's 0-1. Yes, Shay, Garrett Cooper scored. That's why the score is 0-0. The 0-1 in the dirt, 1-1. The 1-1 count. 0-0 your score. Runners on the corners, 2 outs. Standing on deck is Carlo. Carlo Rodriguez. 1-1. Swing and a miss. Cutter just underneath his hands. It's 1-2. One-two count. Righty-lefty matchup. Gonna step off the mound for a second. Morris. That'll be looked upon as one of his moves. The 1-2. Trying to find any kind of a bleeder or a wild pitch, anything to get that runner home. The 1-2. Down and in. Bender. Looked like the slider, 2-2. 2-2 count. Tom Goodwin, the first base coach over there in Allen's ear, might be telling him to run on contact. With the 2-2 down and in. Ball 3-2. So now Allen will be taken off with 2 outs. Anything that gets down into the gap would score 2 most likely. Allen's got pretty good speed. The payoff pitch. Swing. He drops it over towards second. Going to be an easy 4-3 putout, and that'll end the inning. Braves put a couple on, but once again cannot get them across. We head to the top of the 7th. 0-0 here in Cool Today Park.
One of my favorite toxic traits is telling myself I can be ready in 15 minutes when I have consistently proven that I cannot.
Hey, Braves country, I'm Mac Magee. Join us for Pitch by Pitch, Play by Play, the classic call of Braves country baseball. We're bringing you Atlanta Braves baseball all year long. Jump into our pregame show, Braves Country Today, just before first pitch, where we will react to your comments all year long. That's Braves Country Radio, Pitch by Pitch, Play by Play, your home for the classic call of Braves Country baseball.
Better not go to sleep. As soon as your eyes shut, I'm gonna punch you square in the face. I hope you stay still when you sleep, because I'm putting a rat trap between your legs. I'm gonna take a pillowcase and fill it full of bars of soap and beat the out of you. You better not go to sleep.
They'd interview us or talk to us about, the greatest rotations of all time, and that's not something that any of us thought about until somebody asked us about it.
Do you ever reflect on this rotation that you're a part of, possibly the greatest in history?
And then you'd kind of be like, oh, okay, yeah, I guess, it's cool to be in the conversation.
Because we're a part of this thing, we are going to be mentioned in that regard, and that's fun.
Like a lot of things, when you're away from it and reflect on it, you realize what a special time it was and how much fun it was.
I spent 11 years, half of my career with these guys, and you reflect back on all the good times we had together.
I wouldn't trade anything for what we went through. We got a chance to do something not a lot of people got to do, and it was really unique because we were 3 different people that did it.
Welcome back. First pitch on the way from Bryce Elder, who's back out there for another inning. It's outside wide for a ball. It's 1-0. Righty-righty matchup, the 1-0. Inside 2-0. Ty France. Kiersey, who is in for Vasquez, is on deck. The 2-0, lifted down the line, foul, 2-1. And Miranda are due up. Bader is out, and Cartea is in for him to catch, whereas Kiersey, the center fielder, is in for the catcher Vasquez. 2-1 misses, 3-1. This has been the name of the game with Elder. Struggling with controls, the 3-1 pitch. Right down the pipe, 3-2. He's pitching, moving much faster. I mean, he is lightning fast on his release. The 3-2. Swung on, chopped over to first. Coop's got it, flips it to Elder covering the bad. LeBlanc to Elder. One away. One down. First pitch on the way is down in there at the knees. Down one. 0-1. Kicks and fires in the dirt. 1-1. Good to see you, James. 1-1 count. Brings it. Cutter up top. 1-2. Yeah, we've been growing pretty well for the... Is the 1-2's inside. 2-2. I think we're close to 35,000, which we finished the season a little over 30, I think. I don't know. I kind of mix it all together, but we've grown decently over the offseason, which we didn't do last season or the season before. It's usually during the season. The 2-2 foul back out of play. We'll do it again. Braves nothing, Twins nothing. Top of the 7th. The 2-2 misses high. 3-2. We're back at it Thursday night. It's a night game. Is the payoff pitch. Inside ball 4. Elder continues to struggle with his command. Walks 1 with 1 out. Thursday night, it's the Miami Marlins. I believe that is a Cooler Day Park game as well. It's 6:05 first pitch, so we should see quite a few of our starters, especially after an off day. First pitch, swung on, chopped foul. It's 0-1. I would say they'll stay in there for a good little bit. The 0-1. Be interesting to see who they decide to start that day, because they may have guys planned to pitch tomorrow, even with an off day, get to work on the backfield. So I don't think we'll know for sure until Thursday afternoon. The 0-1. Runner goes. Pitch inside. And kind of a short hop throw, and the Twins will steal second base. Plenty of time there, but man, you can see right now why, though he's hitting well, I don't necessarily if you want Sandy Leon making the opening day roster. That was what's the nicest way to say that? I mean, that was a weenie arm throw is what that was. He couldn't get the ball to second base without a long hop. 1-1 swing and a miss, 1-2. So 1-2 count. Here's the pitch in the dirt, 2-2. Lee stands on deck. Yeah, Elder was, 2023, John, you're asking about him being an all-star. He was, but if you remember, he was lights out. Is the 2-2. That ball's going to get down for a base hit. Here comes the throw home. They're going to air it out, and it'll get cut off as they will slam on the brakes. The runner had to hold up a little bit. I think he thought maybe Allen had a chance to make a sky grab. So they'll have runners on the corners and 1 out. But I'll tell you what, we should have traded high with Elder. During that all-star break in 2023, we should have kicked him off quick. That's how you get Dylan Cease for a steal. First pitch on the way is outside wide for a ball. It's one. Remember, back then, even then in 23, the White Sox were talking about trading Dylan Cease. We should have given Elder. Murphy. I'm sure we could have picked their pockets clean at that point. The 1-0, swing and a miss. 1-1. And at that point, Murphy was actually having a really good year. He tapered off at the end, but first half of 2023, 1-1 down and away, 2-1. 2-1 count. Pitch on the way from Elder. Swing, pops it up. High in the sky. Who wants it? Coming over. Charging in, making the catch from center and firing the ball into the infield. Runner will hold. Not much of a chance of. That's a pretty shallow hit ball with a lot of air underneath it. 2 away. Mariznik came in and charged it. Easily made the grab. That'll bring Gasper, the second baseman, up. He kind of has one of those Spencer Strider or Dylan Cease type mustaches. First pitch on the way, swing and a miss. Over the top of that sinker, it's 0-1. That sinker that he just threw there that's about belt high and drops below the knee, that's what got him to the All-Star game. The problem is he hasn't been consistent with it. The 0-1. Fastball misses high, 1-1. The 1-1 count. Braves nothing, Twins nothing. Top of the 7th. Here's the pitch. Down and in. 2-1. Elder coming set. The 2-1 pitch. Try to get him to chase down and again. 3-1. So he goes from that tight sinker to something that is more of a changeup. They call it a curve, but it's really more of a changeup. And it's got such a slow bend to it, it's easy to lay off for these guys. The 3-1. Down below the knees. Ball 4. That'll flip the lineup over, and looks like most of the starters are staying in for Minnesota right now. So Wallner, leadoff batter, is batting .067. He's probably wanting to stay in. He's like, man, don't take me out. I'm struggling. I see Bryce Elder up there. They're going to have a powwow on the mound. And Snicker, yeah, he's seen enough. Snicker has seen enough of Bryce Elder over the last couple of years, much less this afternoon. We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country. Tie game, bases loaded, 2 outs. And the right-hander charging in from the pen.
I felt like a Spanish, like a Puerto Rican. I felt Puerto Rican.
You can move it to the White House. You voted for Trump.
Who told you that? Granny and them down there telling people who people voting for. Boy. That's the voter fraud stuff they was talking about.
Nah, ain't no fraud. That's who you voted for.
Okay, but you still not supposed to know that. That's violating my HIPAA laws. That's personal information.
What made you vote for him?
Because of the tax cuts he's gonna do. He's trying to put money in pockets.
You ain't even got no money.
What you mean? I'm trying to get some.
And what Camilla is?
Who?
The black woman? You got all these black women around you, and you voted for Trump?
If we being for real, we talking about color. Orange is my favorite color. Trump is orange. I went with my favorite color. So what he doing so wrong that you so against?
He taking away women's rights.
It's 4 kids in the house that I didn't even want, that you had anyways. What you want me to do? Take my vote back?
Yes.
I wasn't to decide and vote. 82 million other voted for him. Damn, Grandma! You marching Martin Luther King for my right to vote. This bitch trying to make me do whatever she want me to do.
They were the ringleaders of the mentality that we developed through the years, where we walked on the field expecting to win. And Doggy was the ringleader of that.
Greg Maddox pitched a beauty here to...
Welcome back. Griswold is going to be the pitcher, and I don't believe we've seen him so far this spring. Rob Griswold, he's pitched an inning and a third this spring with a 0.00 ERA. 26 years old out of Milford, Connecticut. Played his college ball at LIU, Long Island University. He pitched in Rome last year, and in 2023 pitched in Rome in Augusta. Same in 2022. First pitch swinging. Ball is swung on and lifted high into left field. Wynn's going to push it into the corner, and that'll end the inning. He's got kind of like a 3/4 arm delivery, so one pitch, one out. The Braves tie it up, or all tied, excuse me, and we'll head to the 7th inning stretch, Braves country. Let's get some runs. Welcome back. Carlos Rodriguez will lead us off, righty-lefty matchup. First pitch on the way is a strike right down the pipe by Morris. It's 0-1. The 0-1 in the dirt. 1-1. 1-1 count. Morris has thrown an inning and a third with one strikeout and one walk. The 1-1 chopped over to second. Easy 4-3 put out. One away. That'll bring Luke Williams to the plate. He belted one the other day. Maybe we'll get the same from him today, and it's right in his wheelhouse there. Eli White is coming to the plate, then Luke Williams. Luke Williams is on deck. Eli White, who they are putting all over the infield and outfield this spring. First pitch on the way, swing and a miss, fastball. It's 0-1. He's playing second today, and the idea is the 0-1 lifted high into center field. Coming in, making the catch. Easy F8. 2 down. The idea is to have these guys with versatility, not so much for an injury or a day off. It's more the fact that you could pinch run them during the game late and put them anywhere you want defensively. And Eli White had played infield in college and whatnot. They just hadn't had him play much in Atlanta or in the Braves organization. His first pitch swinging by Luke Williams, a pop-up can of corn. That's going to end the inning. F5 in your scorecard, and you can't get a quicker inning than that. 3 up, 3 down, lightning fast. We'll finish that thought when we come back here on Braves Country.
There are two types of people in every marriage. One that wakes up like a normal person, and the other that has to set 17 alarms and cannot be talked to for the first hour and a half of the day.
When you got dumb and dumb out here.
I have respect for myself, and this is my best friend, so I have respect for her.
All right.
And I'm being dead honest right now that if you call me dumb or her dumb one more time, I don't care how many steroids you take, how many egg yolks you drink.
Today's going to be one of those days when somebody says to me, how strong would you like your coffee? I'd like it to show up on a drug test.
These are the kind of guys you like to smack in the ass.
I love you too, but you're not my type.
Yeah, it's not a speed contest, you know? You're facing Randy Johnson, you got to outpitch him. You're not going to throw it as hard as him, but you can outpitch him.
I'm Randy Johnson, and I don't pitch like Greg Maddux.
How would you describe Greg physically?
I would just say that you wouldn't think that he's a pitcher, and that's okay because I don't look athletic. I'm just tall, you know? I mean, everybody thinks I play basketball, but I've always admired how he's pitched because it was the opposite of me. I was a power pitcher.
You talk about blowing somebody away. Nothing fancy from 6', 10" Randy Johnson.
There was not very many people like him in the history of the game. Everybody kind of watched him pitch. You know, it was the Maddux factor, the way he pitched. He just made really good hitters look bad, and he didn't have to throw 95 to do that.
We all know that pitching is about deceiving the hitter. If you can make all 2 or 3 or 4 of your pitches look just like your fastball, then you're kind of on the right track.
I was watching him, how to set hitters up and what he was doing. I couldn't even fathom doing those things. It was like, it's like a chess match.
Welcome back. Bryce Elder on the 1-0 count. Fires a pitch down the line. Foul. It's 1-1. They don't have an exact clock when they go to breaks during spring training games, unless they're nationally televised. So our clips are exactly 2 minutes. And I'm watching and I'm like, come on, finish up. Because Bryce Elder went out there running out there to go back out there one more inning. Is the 1-1 swing and a miss, 1-2. It's working lightning fast again. The 1-2. Right there at the knees on the outer edge. He'd love to have that call, but didn't get it. 2-2. 2-2 count. Braves nothing, Twins nothing. Top of the 8th. The pitch. High and inside. Full count. Until Bryce Elder got on the mound, this game was moving very fast, but the payoff pitch popped up foul back behind home plate. He's pitching fast, he's just not hitting the zone. So 3-2 count. Here's the pitch. Caught looking, strike 3. 1 away. Fastball on the outside edge. Cartaya, the catcher, did not like it, but I mean, I think a spring training 2-strike count, it was a pretty fair strike call. First pitch on the way is a strike on the outer edge. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Elder back to work quickly. Inside high. 1-1. Standing on deck is Morales, the second baseman. Braves and Twins are tied up at nothing apiece. Braves still with 2 more at bats to try to get something on the board. 1-1 down below the knees. 2-1. 2-1 count. No game tomorrow. The Braves are off. And then we're back at it Thursday night. The 2-1. Swing and a miss. Sinker over the top on the inner cut. 2-2. Good pitch. Good to see you, Daniel. The 2-2. Elder stops off the bump for a second. The 2-2 pitch. Swing, fouls it down the line, out of play. We'll do it again. So we saw Sale today. We saw Elder today. I think there's a good chance we might get the Ian Anderson or Grant Holmes or maybe a combination on Thursday night, the 2-2. Caught looking strike 3. Frisbee slider up there, and he must have been looking for the heat because he could not pull the trigger to away. Two down, and Jefferson Morales batting .375 on the year, the young second baseman. Takes a pitch on the outer edge. It's 0-1. 25-year-old out of Venezuela, Morales. Low strike. Morales isn't very tall. My guess is he's around 5'6". He's listed at 5'8". He's not 5'8". But that was even a low strike even for his height. If you're wondering how that ABS system is going to work as the 0-2's in the dirt, 1 and 2. They do it off with the percentage of your height listed. And so the computer takes, it's like 17% towards the bottom as the 1-2 pitch. Did he go around? They checked down the line. He did not. I can't remember the exact numbers, but we'll just say for argument's sake, 17% below and we'll say 30% above. And that's how they squeeze the strike zone as the 2-2. Talking about squeezing a strike zone. That was a strike. Elder wanted that pitch. Full count. Full count from Elder. Swung on and lifted into center field, down for a base hit. One hopper into the glove of the center fielder out there. Once again, Harris is out of the ball game. That is Marisnik playing center. So I probably didn't explain it very well, but essentially they go off. I saw this whole tutorial where they were comparing Aaron Judge to like a Jose Altuve and how they arrive at what the strike zone is. Snickers come out and he's like, "You're done, Elder. We're done with you." We'll be back in a flash. Hopefully that's the last time we have to see Elder come in and out of this game. I mean, he got some beneficial calls in this inning, but all in all, he has not hit the zone. We'll be back in a flash. The right-hander coming on. We'll introduce him when we come back. Braves and Twins, 0-0 your score.
Suspect still has trouble speaking English even though she's lived here for over 30 years. Suspect is a bitch. Mum, that's not the trend. That's not how it works.
I just seen an American woman complaining about the lack of bagels in Ireland, so I'm just going to come out and say it. Bagels are shit. The Irish are not big bagel people. What purpose does the hole serve? What is its use? What is its function? The hole is nothing but an inconvenience. Stuff has a tendency to leak through it, so I have to conduct constant surveys of the hole to make sure I'm not losing any of my sandwich. Also, I've paid for that amount of bread. You don't have the right to take a hole out of it and put it back in your greedy little bagel making machine. Also, I feel like bagels are always a small bit stale. Like, not stale, but not fresh. Get yourself a brioche bun, a French baguette, a slice of bread. All of these are superior to the bagel. The Irish will never be brainwashed into this ridiculous sandwich type.
We were regular season and we were winning like 8-0. It was easy game in the 8th inning. And he told me, don't throw anything inside on Bagwell. Call everything outside. And I said, okay. I think it was somebody odd. And he wants to go inside. And I, okay. You know, it's your game. So I went inside, called inside, and Bagwell hit like 1,000-mile. I was mad, and I was like, what are you doing? And he goes, they got a good team. We got a good team. We're going to play them in the playoff. He's going to wait for that pitch. 3 months later, we're in the playoff, bases loaded in the 7th. We threw 3 straight changes.
Welcome back. Shanaman is on to pitch. First pitch right there for a strike. It's on 1. Shay Shanaman. Kind of hope he makes the majors. The 0-1. Swung on and fouled back. It's 0-2. He's from Hastings, New England. Played college ball at Nebraska. He's right around. You got to figure he had to have been teammates with Schwellenbach because they're right around the same age. If he makes the team, he is going to be instantly Shan the Man, because you cannot you cannot not like that name. I mean, that is a great name. It's not Shanahan, it's Shanaman. The 0-2 runner goes. Here comes the throw down to third. One hopper, and Eli White could not come up with it. The throw probably beats the runner if he can hold on to it. It's going to be a close play. But once again, it was a short hop. The ball barely got to the clay. It was just over the infield grass. He was trying to make a quick grab and tag. Stolen base, 1-2 count, 2 away. Here's the pitch. Swung on and lifted into center field. Coming over. Making the catch is Marisnik. That'll end the inning. So the Braves will grab the bats. Bottom of the 8th we go. 0-0. First one to win. One might win this one.
I'm sitting here watching Cheers. Sam Malone has a picture of himself behind the bar pitching for the Red Sox. I found out exactly who the player in the photo was. Today we learn about the career of Gentleman Jim Lonborz. He possessed an explosive fastball and a breaking ball he could throw for strikes. His best season came with the Red Sox in 1967, a season in which he led the American League in wins, games started, and strikeouts. In between starts that season, he would leave the team for Army Reserve duty, arriving back on a private jet just in time for his next start. In the first 2 games of the World Series that season, he pitched a 1-hitter and a 3-hitter. Unfortunately, he couldn't capture the same magic in Game 7, pitching 6 innings and allowing 6 runs. He was the first Boston Red Sox to win the Cy Young Award. After injuring his knee skiing in the offseason, he was never the same in Boston. So after the 1971 season, he was shipped off to the Brewers in a 10-player deal where he stayed for exactly 1 season. Next, he was traded to the Phillies. During his career, he won 157 games, struck out close to 1,500, and had a respectable 3.86 ERA. Not as great of a career as Sam Malone, but still a pretty solid career.
I think one of the great things about sports is rivalry.
Muhammad Ali is not Muhammad Ali without Joe Frazier. Larry Bird is not Larry Bird without Magic Johnson, and vice versa. And Greg had Barry Bonds.
That's the heavyweight championship, the heavyweight bout everybody wants to see. You got one of the best pitchers of our era against the greatest hitter of our era.
Opposite field home run for Bonds.
Barry was the best hitter in baseball.
He is a .305 lifetime hitter against Greg Maddux, and he has hit more home runs off of Greg Maddux than any other pitcher he's faced in his career.
How many home runs did I give up to him?
We both gave him 9.
Was it 9?
But when you gave up the 9, you said to me, he will never hit another home run off me the rest of his career. And I'm like, wow. And he didn't, because he said, I'll walk him. He said, I ain't facing him.
Bonds was the Maddox of hitters. His baseball intellect was off the charts. It was amazing the way that he could wait and wait and wait, get what he wanted and not miss it.
Welcome back. Atlanta Braves grab the bats. Bottom of the 8th. In a scoreless tie. No runs, 4 hits, no errors for Minnesota. No runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Braves. First pitch on the way from the new right-hander in the game, Spees. Alex Spees, 27-year-old, out of Powder Springs, Georgia. Drafted by the Rangers in 2016, the 1-0, outside wide. Goes back to the backstop, 2-0. There would have been a runner on base that probably would have been considered a pass ball that did hit the catcher's mitt. So a 2-0 count. Spees brings it inside, 3-0. LeBlanc the batter. Spees, believe it or not, has a World Series ring. He had 3 appearances for the 2023 Texas Rangers. 3-0, outside wide, ball 4. So a leadoff walk for your Atlanta Braves. The go-ahead run hits first base. Nobody on, 1 on, nobody out. Spees then went to the Houston Astros pitched just one game there in 2024. First pitch on the way, down and away. Misses 1-0. 1-0 to Cooper, who came on for De La Cruz, designated hitter today. Reached third base his last time up. The 1-0. Right down the pipe for a strike, 1-1. Garrett Cooper, 34-year-old, ex-Marlin for several years, played there till 2023. And last year was in Chicago and Boston. The 1-1 up top for a strike, 1-2. Drafted by the Brewers in the 6th round. He's got 57 home runs lifetime. The 1-2, swing and a miss. Came out of his shoes on that one. In the dirt, strike 3, 1 away. One down, and Marisnik, the batter now. 33-year-old. They're going to flip it over to first to keep the runner close by. Marisnik last played in the majors in 2023 with the Tigers and the Dodgers. First pitch on the way, right there on the inner track for a strike. It's over. He was in Houston for the 2018 teams and 2017 team. The 0-1 down and in, 1-1. He spent about 5 years in Houston. He does have a World Series ring as well. 1-1 count. Brings it. Swing lifted into left center field, coming in, making the running catch in center for the Twins. For a short out, number 2 is Kiersey. Two down and 1 on. Sandy Leon will come on to bat. He's 0 for 1 with the strikeout. He does have 2 home runs this spring. The way this game is going, one swing could put this game out of reach. First pitch for a strike, it's 0-1. The 0-1, swing and a miss. 0-2. So an 0-2 count. Sorry, I got a frog in my throat. Righty-lefty matchup. Here's the pitch. Down and in, good take by Leon. Braves nothing, Minnesota nothing. Bottom of the 8th. No extra innings in spring training ball unless they predetermined that. And as far as I know, they did not between the two managers. So one more inning after this, no matter what. The 1-2 inside, 2-2. So a 2-2 count. John says, Mac, you sound like you aged 35 years. Yeah, well, that's what covering spring training baseball will do to you, John. Especially these late innings. The 2-2, swing and a miss, strike 3, and that'll end the inning. So after the defense and those 2 at-bats, that might kind of cool the jets of everybody wanting Sandy Leon to make the opening day roster. We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country.
What's your favorite Bible story?
When Jesus made the water into wine.
Yes, that was a miracle, wasn't it?
Yes.
And what does the story about Jesus making the water into wine teach us?
When you run out of wine, get on your knees and pray.
I understood the assignment. Did the assigner of the assignment understood who they were assigning the assignment to? You have to ask the assigner on that one. Personally, I don't think they did any research. Yeah.
Hi, y'all. It's time for Appalachian Word of the Day. The word of the day is ammonia. Hey, can you come outside? I'm on your porch.
I hate girls with pretty eyes. Y'all can get away with anything. I can't look at Shorty's eyes if she stares at me. Where's my pants? They're gone.
I want to face the best, and Maddox was the best. Greg was the type of pitcher where you had to be perfect, and you had to accept what he gave you. And if you weren't willing to accept what he gave you, you were going to fail every time.
Strike 3 call, inside corner at the knees.
He was able to change speeds in a way to mechanically mess your swing up.
Bonds was out in front, and as soon as he cut his swing loose, he knew he was in trouble and had been fooled by the motion on Greg's delivery.
And he was a genius. Probably one of the smartest pitchers I ever faced. Period.
Bonds has a good idea at how he goes about facing Maddox.
Almost like Maddox, Bonds' approach is built on a pitch-to-pitch basis and figuring out the odds and what's coming. Both Maddox and Bonds are thinking, can I outthink the other guy? It was the chess match between the batter and the pitcher.
What's up, Braves country? Looking forward to a great Atlanta Braves season. See y'all at the ballpark. Love you.
Welcome back. First pitch on the way is a swing and a miss in the dirt from Shan the Man to Kiersey. It's 0-1. Righty-lefty matchup. The 0-1 brings it right down the pipe for a strike. 0-2. An 0-2 count. Braves nothing, Twins nothing. Top of the ninth. Pitch swung on, banged over to second. Should be an easy 4-3 put out. It is. White to LeBlanc, one away. So I'm taking it that Shanaman was not drafted and signed as the first pitch on the way is a swing and miss strike. It's 0-1. He bounced around in a couple of independent leagues, but then was in the Braves organization from fairly early 2023. 0-1, swing and miss, 0-2. The 0-2 pitch in the dirt to DeAndre, shortstop, who's in for Miranda. 1-2, ball in the dirt. The 1-2 pitch, chopped over in between home and third. We'll do it again. One-two count. Ball hits him in between the shoulder blades, right about the spot where Sean Murphy got hit last week. It is now out 6 weeks. 1 on, 1 out. Runner will head down to first. Go ahead, run on. Carson McCusker is coming on. First pitch on the way. Right down the pipe for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Righty-righty matchup. Turns around and flips it over to first. And they're going to say they got him. So a good pickoff move by Shan the Man. 2 away. And looking at the replay, he had a really big leadoff and was still kind of scooching over there when Shanaman flipped and fired and kind of had cement in his shoes. First pitch on the way, swing and a miss to the right-hander. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Kicks and fires. Swing and a miss. 0-2. An 0-2 count. Swing and a miss. Strike three. Got him with the bender on the outer cut. Looked like a slider. Shanahan's got some pretty good stuff. We'll see if the youngster makes the team when we come back. Braves will grab the bats and see if we can walk this sucker off.
Body is a temple. Ancient, cursed, grumbling, probably filled with something evil.
You only hear of a hen, a rooster, and a chicken. Something's missing.
Something's missing, all right.
They're all chickens. The rooster has sex with all of them. That's perverse.
Is there anything more stressful than when people are not following the secret imaginary schedule you have in your head?
So I work at your bank, and I just want to let you know you don't have any Black Friday money. You don't have any Cyber Monday money. You don't have any Taco Tuesday money. You don't have any Wacky Wednesday money. Just stay in the house.
And here comes Barry Bonds.
So, I mean, first inning, it's kind of too early to pitch around somebody, so you're going to try to get him out.
Well, Bonds chased that first pitch.
Ooh, jam, fastball. What was that, 92?
Pretty good cutter that beat him. I'm feeling okay about throwing that pitch.
So he's going to try to float a changeup or some of that little floater away. Because he thinks I'm going to speed up because they jammed me.
The cutter beat him, so I thought he would speed up. I threw a changeup, and he spit on it.
It's his changeup.
I didn't even try. I just knew it. And now we're playing chess. He knows he can't beat me inside.
Experience has taught me that he's probably looking in. Back then, I didn't know it.
And most of the time, I was always waiting for that 92 end back over the plate. And I'm just praying for it.
Bonds hits one high to right field and deep.
And there it goes. Can't come in the well twice, buddy. And Greg knows, because I always have this saying, you cannot come in the penthouse without an invite.
I mean, that's a good pitch, believe it or not. It's an executed pitch, but obviously it's the wrong pitch to throw. That's one you got to put in the memory bank and try not to ever throw it right there again to him.
Welcome back. Nick Allen, the batter, first pitch swinging. High chopper over to third. Kind of a short hop. Going to have to fight it. But looks like Twins will make the play. 5-3 put out. Alvarez to Cespedes, who came in for Gasper. That's a whole mess as far as the Minnesota Twins substitutions. One away. I won't bore you with the details. If they come up in conversation, we'll mention it. First pitch on the way. Lefty-lefty matchup. Right down the pipe. For a strike. To Capel. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Outside wide. 1-1. Braves either score and walk this off, or we kiss our sister again with a 0-0 tie. That's probably even worse. The 1-1. Outside off the track. 2-1. 2-1 count. Here's the pitch to Capel. Outside wide ball, 3-1. 3-1 count. Standing on deck is Carlos Rodriguez. If you're wondering about him, the young 24-year-old, he's been in the minors since 2018. Is 3-1 high strike, and I mean high strike. Capel does not like it. I can't blame him. That was above the A on Atlanta on his jersey. Good Lord. Payoff pitch to Capel. Brings it. Swing. Lifts it foul down the line. Out of play down the left field sign. Still pretty good crowd out there watching the end of this ball game. Seems like it's pretty good weather. The wind is now blowing in, so it's going to take a mighty smack to walk this off with a home run. The payoff pitch. Right there at the knee, strike 3. 2 away. Cable doesn't like it, but it's not that pitch. It was the one that made it 3-2 that really is going to bother him. Carlos Rodriguez, and I know we're looking at it as well. It's just a spring training game. But these guys are trying to make an impact on the stat line, not just for here. You could make an impact down the road getting a base hit. First pitch on the way is a strike, slider on the outer edge. It's 0-1. Rozek is the pitcher. The 0-1. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Carlos Rodriguez doesn't look like he fares against left-handers very well. I'm looking at the numbers. And has had just 14 home runs in the minor leagues since 2018. So if the Braves are going to win this, he's going to have to get on board and get banged around a few. The 0-2 slaps it over towards third, and it's going to be an L5, and that'll end the game. Braves tie. Braves tie. Your Atlanta Braves tie. Well, that is one way to waste 2.5 hours of our day. No runs, 4 hits, no errors for Minnesota. No runs, 5 hits, no errors for Atlanta. And that should do it. Braves and the Minnesota Twins finish in a 0-0 tie. And we will see you Thursday night, 5:45 first pitch. Y'all have a good one. .715 by DM Magee, 2024. At 7:14, while enduring the hate, he carried the ghosts and stepped to the plate, echoing down from the great Yankee lore, the Bambino's shadow larger from days of before. Henry brushed back the pressure that loomed, threats from fanatics, knowing records were doomed. Into the box, and here comes the pitch. 7:15, it flipped like a switch. Fans escorted 44 round the bases. Hammer and Hank lit up their faces with smiles that unite as he wiped away tears. He hugged Mama tight for so many years. The Hammer had climbed the ladder to the top. A sigh of relief. Briefly, time stopped. We recall and rewind the impossible dream. That night down in Georgia of 7:15. 7:15 by DM Magee, 2024.